The Ancient of Days and the Son of Man. Daniel chapter 7 verses 7 to 14 describes what Christ's coronation as King of Kings and Lord of Lords will be like. Daniel says, I saw in the night visions. And behold, a fourth beast, dreadful and terrible and very strong, having great iron teeth, that devoured and crushed and trampled the remains with its feet. It was very different from the beasts that I saw before it, and it had 10 horns. As I looked at the horns, behold, another, little horn came up among them. And 3 of the first horns were plucked out from before it. And behold, this horn had eyes like a man, and a mouth speaking great things, and blasphemies against God. And I saw that this horn made war with the saints and overcame them. I watched until thrones were set in place. And the Ancient of Days sat down, whose clothing was white as snow, and the hair of his head like pure wool. His throne was a flame of fire, and its wheels were burning with fire. A river of fire issued and came out from before him. Thousands upon thousands ministered to him, and 10,000 thousands stood before him. The judge sat, and the books were opened. I watched because of the sound of the great words spoken by the horn. I watched until the beast was killed, and its body was torn apart and given over to be burned in the fire. The other beasts had also had their dominion taken away, but their lives were prolonged for a time. I watched in the night visions, and behold, one like the Son of Man came with the clouds of heaven, coming to the Ancient of Days and being brought before him. And to him was given dominion and glory and a kingdom, that all peoples, nations, and languages should serve him. His dominion is an everlasting dominion, which will never pass away, and his kingdom one that will not be destroyed. All this will happen after the battle of Armageddon. These other beasts, whose dominion was taken away and whose life was prolonged for a certain time, are world powers which will be neutralized for 1,000 years so that they cannot use their nuclear arsenal. They will not be destroyed, but they will survive while Jesus is reigning for 1,000 years from Jerusalem sitting on the throne of David. They will have an almighty foreman like Jesus Christ who will rule them with an iron rod together with those who came out of the great tribulation who were beheaded for refusing to receive the mark of the beast and worship its image, but were resurrected and will reign with Christ for 1,000 years while Satan will be imprisoned in the abyss. When the 1,000 years are over, Satan will be released from his prison and will go out to deceive the nations that are in the 4 corners of the earth, Gog and Magog, in order to gather them for battle, whose number is as the sand of the sea. And they went up over the breadth of the earth and surrounded the camp of the saints and the beloved city. And fire came down from God from heaven and consumed them. And the devil who deceived them was thrown into the lake of fire and sulfur where the beast and the false prophet are. And they will be tormented day and night forever and ever.